Hey everybody, Danny Milton here for TeddyBaldessar.com. We're here to talk about all the new Rolex releases for Watches and Wonders 2026. And this year we're going hands-on with all of them as we had an early appointment with Rolex and we're really excited to bring all the new releases right to you. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it, kicking things off with a big celebration of 100 years of the Oyster case, and Rolex is celebrating with a special Oyster Perpetual watch. And immediately you're going to be stricken by something very interesting about this watch, where it's two-tone and kind of not two-tone. You have a yellow gold bezel and a yellow gold crown with 100 years in it, and the rest of the watch is steel. You have your standard brushed steel bracelet. The dial is a slate gray, and you'll notice accents of green on the outer edges of the dial, and very similar to the Rolex Air King, you have the Rolex word mark also in green. Other elements of this watch include gold surrounds on the markers, yellow gold hands, and overall this is an elegant addition to the OP line. Now that doesn't mean there isn't also a wow factor in the 36mm sizing of the OP, because of course there is. Now if anybody remembers the celebration dial of the Oyster Perpetual back a few years ago, you're going to be pretty excited about this one. This has all of the color and all of that excitement, all of those pops. The dial of this new OP is done in a 1970s Jubilee motif, and this isn't printed in the standard way. You're seeing the Rolex word mark all over the place. This is a lacquered dial, which means it's really going to shine when you look at it head on, and it's going to add a whole different dynamism to it depending on the light. My personal experience with this Jubilee motif is when I've seen it in visits to the Rolex manufacturer, it's actually printed on the trays they use in the cafeteria, which I think is kind of a fun fact. Staying within the Oyster Perpetual line, we also get two smaller sizes of the watch, but in solid gold. We're getting them in 34mm and 28mm. Starting in the smaller size, we have an all yellow gold OP with a green dial with a twist. These dials are lacquered dials, and at the 3, 6, and 9 positions, they have stone markers. Now it's pretty interesting and kind of wild to see solid gold OPs, and while I would like to have seen it in the 36mm sizing and potentially even the 41mm sizing, you gotta start somewhere. And now we have the return of the Yacht-Master 2. And now I'm not sure that many people were holding their breath for the return of this watch, but it is nice to see it back since it was discontinued in 2024. The new Yacht-Master 2 still does all of the things the previous one did, but now is a bit more user-friendly with the introduction of a brand new movement, the caliber 4162. And everything that happens in this watch basically starts at the pushers. So the bottom pusher allows you to set the large red hand to any one of the numbers on the countdown inner flange on the white dial. Then when you activate the top pusher, the central chronograph seconds hand will start to run backwards and the countdown timer will start to work. Now looking at this watch aesthetically and sort of how it feels in the hand and on the wrist, it is large. Previous iteration was 44mm and the modern iteration is 44mm. Mileage may vary and wrists may vary in terms of who can actually pull a watch like this off, but I have to say that the new redesign really helps this feel a bit more cohesive, and that kind of starts with the new bezel. Previously the countdown functionality started on the bezel, and now in the blue Cerachrom bezel you get a traditional dive time bezel that you would see on a Yacht-Master or a Submariner, for example. And this one is bidirectional. The Yacht-Master 2 comes in two metal configurations, one in steel and one in solid yellow gold. Rounding out the things that you need to know about the Yacht-Master 2, it comes on an Oyster bracelet with both brushed and polished elements. And now we come to some surprising news in the world of Daytona, because we have a new steel Daytona, but kind of with a catch. Now the new steel Daytona is more so considered Rolesium, and that's because there are elements of platinum on the watch. And those elements can be found on the bezel ring and on the ring surrounding the exhibition caseback. And yes, you heard that right. There is effectively a steel Daytona with an exhibition caseback, but again, the catch here being that because it's Rolesium, I think it's okay the exhibition caseback is there because we've seen it in the past only on special edition versions of the watch, ranging from the Platinum Daytona to the Le Mans Daytona. Now what's special about this watch? Well, many things. We have a new steel Daytona for one. The Platinum is special, but really this watch is all about the dial. And that is because you have a 4-part Grand Feu enamel dial. This one absolutely shines. I mean, it is really incredible to look at in real life. You see it, you hold it in the hand, you see how it catches the light. If you've ever seen an enamel dial before, this one is kind of an elevated version of the form, and that is typical of Rolex because it takes years of research and development for the brand to figure out how to attack a certain element of a watch, and you can see that that mindset went into the dial of this Daytona. Now, one last catch of this watch, we've gone over the fact that it's not technically steel, but really Rolesium. It's an off-catalog watch. So what does off-catalog mean? It basically means you won't be able to find this watch on the Rolex website when you're doing this sort of configurator thing. And by virtue of that, it won't be as readily accessible as a standard Rolex Daytona. Staying in the world of precious metal, we turn to a new 40mm day date. This is in a brand new gold alloy called Jubilee Gold. It is a version of rose gold for Rolex, so not quite as rose as Ever Rose, and it kind of sits in the middle between yellow gold and Ever Rose in a sense. It has that kind of rosy sheen to it. And this one is honestly especially cool, and that is because of the green aventurine dial. It has a certain texture to it and a lightness to it that's unlike any other green dial I've ever seen Rolex use, and that is all complemented by diamond baguette indices on the dial itself. The Rolex Day Date is a seminal central watch to the Rolex collection, and it's one of those watches where when you see it elevated in form by use of interesting stones on the dial or diamonds on the dial, and even a new alloy entirely, it just speaks to what the Day Date means to the broader Rolex collection. And to me, it's one of the most interesting watch releases from the brand this year because it's just so striking in nature. One unique facet about the green aventurine dial is it's sort of textured. It has a depth to it that can really only be appreciated by seeing it in real life. And rounding things out in terms of the watch releases is a new Datejust with a green ombre dial. Now the ombre dial for Rolex is basically another way of saying smoky dial or a fumé dial. And what you're seeing here is a dial that goes from black at the edges to a very, very vivid, almost emerald green color at the center. The Rolex Datejust is the quintessential Rolex in so many ways. Now, I'm wearing a 36mm Datejust myself right now, and the 41mm Datejust has really caught on in recent years. I've noticed that the ombre dial pattern has been really popular in the day date range in recent releases. One that really springs to mind for me is the rose gold day date with the gray ombre dial. But here, seeing that black to green, it's really an incredible thing, especially coming paired with a fluted bezel. You have sort of this dynamism of light on the bezel and the way that the dial picks up light in different situations as well. But it's not all about the watches this year as well, as Rolex kind of sneakily threw in one last little bit of intrigue for us to talk about, which is the way that it's sort of finessing and tightening up what its superlative chronometer certification means for the brand. And while tolerances for timing and accuracy remain +2, -2 seconds per day, we have learned that Rolex is really beefing up what it means to be a superlative chronometer by way of magnetism, sustainability, and reliability. It's not entirely clear yet what those things mean, but when you've been exposed to different forms of accuracy testing like we have, things like METOS for example, you can kind of read the tea leaves and see that Rolex is heading in a direction to really make sure that the superlative chronometer certification is up there with the best of them. So that's it for the Rolex novelties of 2026. From a 100th anniversary of the Oyster case and a really cool execution of that in the OP41, to a brand new steel Daytona with platinum elements that's off catalog, and the return to the Yacht-Master 2, you've kind of got everything to choose from here, with a little bit of fun thrown in via the 36mm Jubilee motif OP as well. So we want to hear from you guys. What is your new favorite Rolex watch? Please let us know in the comments below. And stick with us on TeddyBaldessar.com as we're around Watches and Wonders all week, bringing you new releases, fresh photography, fresh video reviews. You won't want to miss it. See you all soon.